No one really tells you this, but getting divorced can be the beginning of the best years of your life. It takes some time. It's not going to be overnight, but you'll eventually discover what power can come from it. When I embraced my bachelorhood, I was scared at first, but after going through it, I kind of realized the benefits and the freedom that comes from being single. It's stuff that I took for granted when I was in a relationship. So in this video, I'm just going to go over 10 surprising powers I unlocked when I went through everything and it all ended. The first power I unlocked was the power of freedom. I no longer had to ask permission to go somewhere. I didn't have to feel guilty if I just decided to leave the house and go to the store, or if I wanted to play video games all day, or if I wanted to go to a movie. I didn't have to make sure it was okay. I didn't have to see if somebody else wanted to do that with me. I could just go out and do it. When I was with my wife, we had a lot of codependency issues. We wouldn't do a lot of things separated. A lot of that was because I felt bad if I was going to go out without her. She would also kind of guilt trip me, which I allowed, because she didn't have anywhere else to go. I remember when we were dating, I went out to get drinks with coworkers, and it should have been a red flag that she was so upset that I went out without her, even though it was my coworkers. It was a random Friday night. It's just something you do. And at the time, I didn't have any boundaries. I was 22. I was just happy to have a girl that liked me. So after that evening, I never really went out without her. I didn't want to upset her. I didn't want to make her feel unloved. So I started to kind of abandon my friends. I didn't hang out with them as much because she wanted to spend time with me. She didn't really want to spend time with them. I don't know that they necessarily liked her as much either because of how maybe possessive she was or how untalkative she was. I'm not really sure why, but that kind of triggered why I didn't go out anymore by myself. And that kept up through our 12-year marriage. We never really went anywhere without each other. So, once that ended, I had the freedom to go wherever I wanted. I could literally just wake up anytime I wanted, and I could play video games as long as I want. And that's how I kind of started my early weeks of the divorce. And then I kind of realized how boring that was, and that's not really what I wanted to do. But having that freedom, I was able to start setting goals and figuring that stuff out. So that was the first power I unlocked, was just the power of freedom for what I want to do. I have my time back. I don't have to go places I don't want to go. I can choose to travel when I want, where I want. And it's been an amazing feeling not to have to worry about hurting somebody's feelings because you wanted to go do something. So that was the first power that I unlocked. The next power I unlocked was financial freedom. I no longer had to ask permission if I could purchase something. I didn't have to feel guilty about buying things behind her back. If I wanted something, I could just get it. I didn't have to feel anything about it. When we were married, I know she grew up very poor, so she was always worried about money. Everything had to be, I had to make sure there was a purpose to it. She didn't want to waste money. She didn't want to go travel. She didn't want to, just buy things that were fun. Just take little adventures somewhere. Always had to have questions of how much is it going to cost? Can we afford it? At the time, we both had jobs. We were doing pretty well. We had money saved. So money wasn't an issue. It was more just a mindset. So anytime I would buy something, say a video game or new clothes, I always felt either guilty or I had to ask permission for it. And it wasn't very masculine, I'm asking my wife for permission for things. So not having to worry about that anymore, being able to buy what I wanted, it's just one less stressor in your life. So that's another power I discovered, that, you can go buy what you want. You can go out to dinner by yourself, spend $20. You can, when we were going out to dinner, the two of us, although we were both working and shared money, you still spend 70, 80 bucks, and it just kind of felt like you were spending too much money. Whereas now, I don't have to go to restaurants I don't want to. I can cook at home. I can cook whatever I want. I don't have to ask what she's hungry for. I just make it, and that kind of goes back to freedom of commitment. I don't have to ask her what she wants to eat. She doesn't have to worry about what I'm eating. I just make what I want. I go wherever I want, and I don't have to worry about the price because that's not something that concerns me. I'm more about enjoying the moment and experiences. So that's number 2, financial freedom. The third thing I discovered was the power of personal growth. When we were together, we got married very young. I didn't really know who I was as a person. So I didn't have any goals. I didn't know what I wanted to do, what I wanted to be. Basically, everything I did was to kind of just be a good husband as I could, to try to make her happy. So once things ended, I was kind of forced to set goals for myself. I had to figure out where I wanted to go, what I wanted to do, who I wanted to be around, the kind of person I wanted to be, because I didn't want to be that same guy. She left me. So obviously I felt there was something that was wrong with me, so I was determined to become the best version of myself. So it allowed me that ability to start setting goals, to work on things I wanted to work on. If I wanted to be more social, I didn't have to get her permission. I just went out and socialized. I could set goals that I wanted to do. I could go travel to the places I wanted to. So it's not something you really realize while you're together. You kind of just, I don't know, for me, I was just getting by, not really putting forth much effort, but I know there was a couple times we would fight if I was starting to improve myself. So sometimes it was easier just to stay in the same spot. So the third power I discovered was just, personal growth, being able to change myself in the way that I wanted to, not in the way that would make her feel happy, not in the way that would make things easier. Life isn't supposed to be easy. You have to do tough things. You have to grow. And that's the third thing, power of personal growth. Fourth power I discovered was the power of emotional growth. Going through that divorce was very challenging for me. It's something I never had to do before, thought I would ever have to do. But it made me a much stronger person. I learned, to be less reactive and to be able to be more emotionally controlled, which has helped me in my future relationships. I've become a much stronger man. I have much more control over my emotions. And, without that experience, I probably never would have gone through that. I was living a very comfortable life, and going through that changed everything. So another power you discover is it gives you that ability to go through tough times, to become a stronger man, and to become better for the next person that you're in a relationship with. So number 4, power of emotional growth. The fifth power is being able to redefine your relationships. Now you can go be friends with whoever you want. You can go to events that you want. You can go socialize with whoever you want. When I was married, I know she was very close with her mom. When we lived in the same town as them, she'd want to go over there every weekend. I didn't want to do that, but like I said previously, I didn't also want to feel like I was being a bad husband, not wanting to go hang out with her family. They're great people, but they didn't live a lifestyle that I wanted. They were very slothful. Even at that age, I kind of realized that I didn't want to be around them. They didn't keep their house cleaned. They were all kind of pretty lazy with their goals. So after being divorced now, I've been able to cultivate a social circle that I'm proud of. My friends are goal setters. They go for what they want. They're very interested in self-improvement. The women I surround myself with are all same mindsets. They're the kind of girls I want to be around. And I'm not hanging around people that I don't choose to. Whereas in the past, if she made a new friend or if I was hanging out with coworkers, that was just my social circle because that was all I had access to. I wasn't able to go out and meet people that I would have related to or might have had different hobbies, or maybe it could have shown me sooner how to set goals and start a business or, really improve your life. So that's another power that you can, realize. I know it's going to be tough going through a divorce. It's never easy. But with time, you kind of realize that what's possible. And one of those things is cultivating a new social circle and, really being around the people you want to surround yourselves with. They say that you become the 5 people you surround yourself with most. So this gives you an opportunity to choose who you're going to surround yourself with. You're not obligated to hang out with what other people want you to. It's all up to you now. You're your own man. You have your freedom of time, as we mentioned in the first step. You have your goals that you set for number 3. So there's really, something to look forward to. Now you can be around people that you really resonate with, that you want to emulate, and start to progress towards your goals. So number 5 is you get to reinvent your social circle. All right, number 6 is defining your personal power. I'm standing in front of this horse, cow, made of garbage. I don't know, kind of interesting. But I was married for 12 years, in a relationship for that 13 years. So very young. Prior to that, I was always focused on getting people to like me. So I don't know how much of personal power I even had. But once things were over, I had no choice but to figure out my personal power. It was just me. So I had to figure out who I was as a person. It gave me time to figure out what I liked and what I didn't like and what some of my boundaries are. Before, I didn't have boundaries. I was the nice guy who would do anything that people wanted, even if it was something I really didn't want to do. But I always just wanted to make people happy. I wanted that validation. And once I lost that, she left, I was by myself. I had to figure out what I liked about me, what I wanted to become, and develop that personal power. So it's something that maybe not a lot of us have had to do, or maybe we were running from it. I think I hid a lot because I didn't want to face things. But one of the benefits is number 6, you get to define your personal power. Figure out what you like to do and who you want to become and what it's like to be around you. Number 6. Number 7 is one of my favorite powers I've unlocked. That's the power of adventure and travel. I think I mentioned before, we never traveled anywhere. It was either to her parents' house in Missouri or my parents' house in Wisconsin. So those were our vacations. We never took a honeymoon. Everything we did was very money conscious, so we weren't just gonna go pick up and buy flights to Cancun or wherever. I never left the country until after my divorce. So one of the first things I did was go to London. I didn't want to stay in Wisconsin. I had never traveled. I'd always wanted to. And so now I have this personal freedom. I don't have to worry about what others think. I don't have to ask permission. I don't have to worry about financial stuff. So I have that financial freedom. And I wanted to grow as a person. And one of the best things to do is to travel. So the first thing I did was my buddy and I went to London for 4 days. Kind of got that bug in there that it's good to travel. So I just continued that. I decided I was going to not be afraid of moving out of the city. I was going to have to face those fears, and if I wanted to grow to be the person I could envision and that would make me attractive to women, I was going to have to leave my small town in Wisconsin. So I decided I was going to move to Boston, stayed there for a while, loved it, but felt it was time to move on, so moved to Vegas, and then moved around. I've traveled quite a bit. And I never would have been able to do that if I was still in that relationship that was not, where travel wasn't a priority. So number 7 is the power of adventure and travel. I know some couples do love to travel together, and that's great. That's the kind of relationship I want now. But if you're not in that relationship, or you are looking to move on after a divorce or a rough breakup, or even if you're single now and you just haven't traveled a lot. It's an amazing experience, and it allows you to meet people that you normally would not interact with, meet the girls that you want to meet. You have fun stories, you have interesting tales to tell. So it's one of those things that you don't really think about while you're in the relationship, but it's definitely been one of the biggest benefits I found. Maybe I wouldn't say benefits, but it's just, it's something that I truly am grateful for that I never got to experience when I was in a relationship. So, number 7, adventure and travel. I'm just finding all sorts of stuff today. Number 8 is the power of physical health. I was overweight when I was married, pretty much our whole marriage. It just accumulates over time. Lack of exercise, just kind of coasting, not trying to be the best version of myself. But some of it also came down to the relationship I was in. I kind of feel, looking back on it, maybe it was some emotional abuse, but I remember I would try to get in shape a couple times because I wasn't happy with who I was as a person. I knew I could do more. And there was a few times where every time I worked out, she would accuse me of working out so that I would cheat on her. So being a good husband, I didn't want her to feel like I would cheat on her. I wanted to make sure she knew I was there for her. And I think the best way for that to, kind of guarantee it was that I was out of shape. I looked unhealthy. I didn't have any options because, I was lazy. I didn't socialize. I didn't talk to people. I didn't work out. So who's going to want me if she leaves? But she did leave. Of course she left. I was very meek. I didn't have boundaries. I wasn't being a good version of myself. I wasn't being masculine. I was just getting by. So having gone through the divorce, it made me realize, along with the other steps I mentioned, like you have to start improving yourself. I wanted to get attractive women, and the way I was at the moment wasn't going to happen. You can get attractive women if you're a little overweight. I'm not saying that, but for me, I was not being healthy. I was just getting by. So number 8 is being able to get some physical health again. Envisioning the kind of guy that you want to be, what kind of girls want to be with that guy. And so I started working out, and then I started meeting people at the gym. I started making friends that had the same goals that I did, that wanted to improve. And, I started listening to people like David Goggins that just kind of show you what's possible if you put pressure on yourself and really apply discipline and working hard. And there's really no better way to improve as a person and to work hard like exercise. Exercise is difficult, but you feel great afterwards. Your body looks better, so you feel more confident. That's half the reason I have been able to live the life I want, I feel, is that I started taking care of my health. I worried about, being overweight. I wanted to improve. So that's something that I probably would never have done if I still was in my relationship. Probably would have been the same thing where I just played video games and I didn't work out or socialize because I didn't want her to feel like I would cheat on her, which isn't an attractive quality. So then she loses attraction for me and then looks for somebody else, which is kind of what happened. I don't blame her for that. I'm very grateful that that happened because now I'm the man that I am and I'm living the life that I live, and I've traveled and done a whole bunch of different stuff. So it allowed me to do number 8, be physically healthy and free. Number 8. Number 9 is the power of confidence with women. I didn't have a lot of confidence growing up, especially with women. I was very much seeking approval. I would always do things to try to fit in. Wanted girls to like me. I wanted to be, the Nike shoes. If I felt like if I was popular, girls would start liking me. I chased that validation up until I got married at 23. She was the first girl that really liked me. I didn't have confidence with women. She just picked me. I didn't really pick her. So It wasn't until after I went through the divorce and I realized these other powers of, physical health, independence, setting goals, becoming just a version of myself that I could become. It was within me the whole time. I just had to make the decision to make changes, to put in action, and to become that guy. After doing that, I was ready to socialize more, learn how to speak to women, and I've gained a lot more confidence with that. The girls that I see now, I feel are, it's a win-win. They're getting a man that knows what he wants, he has boundaries, he's committed to improving himself, and that's an attractive quality. So you start building confidence with women, the more girls that you see. A lot of that I did with, as I mentioned in the previous video, online dating. It's easy to get dating experience with online dating. You get a good profile, you know how to send messages, you can set up dates, and then you're choosing the girls that you want, picking them out of strengths. They're the kind of girls that you resonate with, that you want to be with. You're not just settling for the first girl that shows any interest in you. It's a great way to get practice on dates, how to socialize, how to be flirty and fun. And, I never had that opportunity when I was married. I thought I was being a good husband, but I wasn't, I wouldn't say that we didn't have any sort of romance or anything. Like, we were fun and playful, but I think the reason that we stayed together as long as we did is I didn't feel I could get another girl. I didn't have confidence that I could attract somebody else or that they would want to be with me. So one of the powers I've developed and that I feel like you could develop after being divorced is you get that opportunity to have confidence with women. It's a skill set. It's something that you can learn. It's something that you can develop. Girls want highly attractive men. It's not based off of appearance like I used to think it always was. I used to think it's my looks that I wasn't getting girls, but it was my personality and the traits I was giving off. I wasn't masculine. I wasn't dominant. I didn't have purpose. I didn't speak up for myself. I didn't have boundaries. So one of the blessings of ending that relationship was that I could focus and develop these things. So number 9 is the power to have confidence with women. Power number 10 is the power of mental clarity. In a relationship, a lot of the times you're thinking about what's best for the other person. How can I make sure that they're happy? What do I need to do to maybe limit fights and limit the amount of uncomfortableness? So there's always something you're thinking that is just taking up your mental energy. After the divorce, it's going to be tough. You're worried about what she's doing. Are you good enough? Why did she leave? But after some time, you start to realize how much, honestly, better off you are. You're able to focus on yourself. You don't have to worry about what she's doing, where she's going, who she's seeing, blah, blah, blah. You can focus on what you want. You can use that mental energy now to focus on the direction you want to go rather than wasting your time worrying about things you have no control over. So one of the powers is mental clarity. You can now focus specifically on the things that you want. Number 10, mental clarity. Hey guys, if you stuck around this long, I'll give you one more that I've been thinking about. So number 11 is the power of purpose and direction. Now it's just you. Your spouse is left or your relationship is over, or if you didn't have a relationship, it's just you. You have to figure out what direction you want to go. You can either stay where you're at, not making any improvements, hope she comes back, hopefully you attract the girl that you want, just being you. Or you can have direction and purpose and go in a new direction. You can start working out, you can start taking actions to make you a more attractive person. That's what it took for me. I was very much directionless. I had no purpose when I was married. My life was the same thing every day. Wake up, go to work, eat my candy for breakfast, eat my fast food for lunch, eat my bad dinner or shitty fast food for dinner, play video games, go to sleep, and then on the weekends, maybe do some housework, ask her what she wants to do. Oh, we have no friends, so I guess we'll just go for a drive, or we'll sit around and watch TV or go to the farmer's market. Just the same things every day. No purpose, no direction, not trying to improve myself, not trying to live a better life, just getting by. Maybe I learned that from my parents. They lived that lifestyle. That's how it was growing up. But once that relationship ended, I had a choice to make. I could either keep doing that and just hope to randomly find a girl who would like me, which odds were not very high. I was overweight. I didn't have social skills. I was addicted to things. And I wasn't a very valuable man. So having that relationship over, I was able to finally have a purpose, have a direction. I wanted to become a better version of myself. I wanted to learn how to succeed. I wanted to set goals, and I wanted to get out of my small town. I had some friends that kind of went through the same situation I did. They married their high school sweetheart, and rather than learn to improve or to travel, they decided to do the opposite and stay the same and just hope through maybe pity that she would come back and they would be in the same relationship that they had, which was full of issues, full of fights. So it didn't, I don't know how he's really doing now. I don't want to be around those kind of people that much. I like people that have purpose, have drive, want to improve, and just know that it's possible. So one of the powers of the divorce is now you have a direction. You can choose. You can either go on the left direction of staying the same and not really changing, still playing your video games, being with women that you don't really resonate with just because they liked you or because that's what you've known. Or you can go down the other path of figuring out what you want to become, just writing down goals, taking steps to achieve those goals, living a life of adventure. I mean, anything's possible. Just based off of my experience, I don't even recognize the guy I used to be. It's just crazy. At the time, obviously divorce was shattering. We had our issues. I didn't necessarily want to get divorced. I probably would have taken her back if she wanted to, which thank God she didn't. That just kind of shows the man I was with no boundaries. And it's not an attractive quality. It just shows that you don't have options. She feels that. So she's not going to gain any attraction by staying in that relationship. And I would have maybe said I would improve, but I would have just reverted back. There's no need to continue to progress. She was already locked back in if she would have stayed. So I would have reverted back, I guarantee it. So one of the benefits, number 11, the power of direction and purpose. Now you can figure out where you want to go, what you want to do, what's best for you. Don't worry about what other people say or do. You know, a lot of people will tell you what you should or can or what's best for you and what you're capable of, but they don't know you. They don't have your mindsets. They don't know what you've gone through. And only you know what you're capable of. And I mean, honestly, you probably don't know what you're capable of. You're probably given maybe 40% of your potential, like most of us do. I'm still not at 100% of my potential. I still have a ways to go, long ways to go. But through the divorce, I mean, all these steps have helped me. I've got my freedom now. I don't have to worry about, I got that mental clarity. I don't have to worry about what she's doing anymore. So overall, that's number 11, purpose and direction. All right, guys, those were, I guess, 11 powers that I discovered after I got divorced. It's not something I ever really thought about up until I was forced to. It's obviously not something, if you're just going through a divorce recently, it's going to be tough to, internalize a lot of this stuff. It's definitely a hard situation, It's not something you ever wanted to go through. You don't get married planning on getting divorced. And even if you wanted to get divorced, it still hurts. You still feel rejected. You feel like you're not good enough. I've been there. Just know that with some time, you'll start to see these powers unlock for you too. Just realize that everything does get better with time. And if you keep taking the right actions and watching the right content, practicing your skills, you can learn how to, get through this. I wouldn't say get over it because it's going to be tough, but you can get through it, and then you unlock these powers. You become a different man that you wouldn't recognize, your spouse wouldn't recognize. And I know for me, I wanted to make her regret leaving me. I feel like if she saw the man I am now compared to what I was, she definitely would have wanted to stay more. I don't know if it would have worked out. We still had our issues. I have more boundaries now, so I probably would have ended it. I would have ended it. The relationship was not what I wanted. And it took some time, obviously it takes time after a divorce to process things. But as you look back, you realize there was relationship issues, there was warning signs, there's reasons why you got divorced. It wasn't all sunshine and rainbows and whatever. So these are 11 things you can look forward to unlocking as you progress, whether you're just out of a relationship or even if you've never been in a relationship and you're single. Like, these are things that just kind of realize that these are powers you have right now. You can go travel anytime you want. Go out and have an adventure. Go out and meet new people. Enjoy the fact that you don't have to worry about pleasing somebody else. It's quite the life you can live. Something I didn't, I was just in a daze for 12 years. And now that I've been out of it for 7, 8 years now, I've realized how powerful these superpowers are. So let me know in the comments if any of this resonates with you, how you've been handling your situation. If you're looking for any help with online dating, I'll link that in the description. That'll go over, pictures that you need, how to get them, easy messaging, message templates, so it's very much, you don't have to think about what to send girls. And then you can get out there and start building that confidence with women, get on more dates, find the girls that you really want to be with so you don't have to settle. I don't know how many of you had to settle with your wife or if you felt that way, but I know for me, I could tell early on that I was kind of settling. There was a lot of red flags. I always thought I could do more, but I also had a lot of low confidence, so I didn't really pursue it. I just settled, and you learn as you go. I don't regret it. It happened. I learned a lot from it. But yeah, if you're looking for any help with online dating, I'll link that in the description. And we'll see you in the next video. Like and subscribe.